What's going on, fam? You know what time it is. It's playoff time, Joe. Playoff time for the Baltimore Ravens for B-More. Staying up. Stand up, be more for real. You're listening to the Urban Sports Scene and Bowie TV's Baltimore Ravens pregame show. The Baltimore Ravens are home hosting an AFC Wild Card NFL playoff game against their rivals in the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm your host, Bowie. I'm getting set to get introduced. One of the my real co-host for real, Carita Parks. You know what I'm saying? She live in the building, but we don't get into all that. Before we get into that, let's knock down some particulars. Hey, subscribe to our podcast. Subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene and Bowie TV YouTube channels. Hit that red subscribe button. Also, like this video. Like this video on multiple platforms too, please. Like it on the Bowie TV platform and also the Urban Sports Scene platform on YouTube channel. Also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. All right, here's the rundown. I'll chat with Bowie TV's Ravens beat reporter Carita Parks live from M&T Bank Stadium. Carita will provide us with her keys for a Ravens victory and drop her predictions. Then finally, we'll give y'all some over and under, prop bets for the Baltimore Ravens. But all right, let me introduce her. She's in the building. She's live at M&T Bank Stadium. What's going on, Carita?
Hey.
What is good? What is good? How are you, man? How's the vibe?
It's good. I'm good, live to see the postseason, so cannot complain at all. And the vibe is like, it's a packed press box.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that definitely reflects the importance of this game.
Of course.
So yeah, the vibes are vibing. It's a night game, which is always a great atmosphere at M&T Bank Stadium.
Walking into the stadium, how was it? Like, and just seeing the fans or whatever, were they raucous?
Well, I got here early today.
Oh, you okay? All right.
I was like, I'm going to try my best not to be pulling up into the parking lot too late. So.
Appreciate you. What's going on, Cam? What's going on? What's going on, Alicia? Appreciate you, Alicia. All right, so getting into it, man. Are there any notable actives and inactives to start off? We already know one main one, but
oh yes, of course, Zay Flowers. But outside, which is crazy going into the playoffs. But outside of that, no one of concern. So they're pretty healthy aside from Zay Flowers, and so everybody who should be out there is out there.
What's the talk about Zay being out from the team?
I mean, pretty much they all acknowledge it's a loss, but at the same time, they feel like they have plenty of weapons on offense, which is something that they have prided themselves on all season, is having kind of this pick your poison offense. So it's really that next man up mentality. And, in my opinion, it's going to be all hands on deck.
So what's in terms, and I saw that, well, I'll get to that first, but what's the messaging for the whole team about just this playoff game against their division rival? The Steelers already played them, twice this season. It's the third matchup. So what were some of the talking points, from, coaches and players going into this big game?
I mean, they're really not necessarily being fazed by the whole, this is our third time playing them. I specifically did ask defensive coordinator Zach Orr, are there any pros and cons to playing a team 3 times? And he said that each game is its own story, so you can't really get caught up in what happened in the previous games. And he said, like, as a player, he had that as a player and a coach. He's had the experience of playing a team 3 times. He mentioned the Bengals. So, for them, it's kind of like, this is still another game. They're not really putting too much of an emphasis. I would say definitely us as the media putting an emphasis on the 3, like, this is your third time playing them. But for them, it's like, it's a game they have to win regardless of who they were playing.
Yeah, I do think so they're not amped up. They're playing their rivals. They're not amped up. It's the Steelers.
It's not the same as, it's not the same as the past two particular times. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that they're not amped up, but I think that it's the playoffs, and at this point, it's a different kind of focus.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're too wrapped up in it's the Steelers.
George, right?
Thank you, George.
Cam said there's a whole lot of pressure on Lamar this postseason. You agree with that?
There's pressure on Lamar every postseason. I mean, it's always the storyline. Is he going to get to the Super Bowl this year? So, I don't know if I agree with that statement wholeheartedly, but it is what it is.
What does George say? I'm not worried about Lamar. I'm worried about the coaching staff. They failed the Ravens in the last 2 years in the postseason. So I guess to your point, like George believes in Lamar. He ain't worried about Lamar.
To the point of like the coaching staff, Todd Monken, he kind of felt it was like there was a question about like the playoffs last year compared to the playoffs this year, and he was just saying that he feels like as an offense they're in a better place because it's the second year. Last year it was the first year. He was like, now we know what people are good at, what they're not good at. Like this, everybody's just more comfortable with each other and more comfortable with the system. And then defensively, I feel better about the defense now. They just have to continue to have that same energy.
And also, doesn't Todd Monken deserve his flowers? I mean, his offense has been kind of.
I'm sorry, the playoff. I heard a ruckus.
You good?
I'm sorry. I tried to remain professional, but I was like, what's going on?
You good? You good? Todd Monken, doesn't he deserve his flowers for what he's done this season with this offense?
This who?
Offensive coordinator Todd Monken, doesn't he deserve his flowers for what he's done this season with the offense?
I definitely think so. Like Lamar's playing comfortably. I feel like everybody does look more comfortable this year. I don't really think, besides that 0-2 start, I don't really feel like the offense had to do too much adjusting this season. I think that once they started clicking, they were clicking. The games that they lost was more of just everybody shooting themselves in the foot, but not a reflection of the system. So I definitely think he's got them playing some of their best football right now, and he's gonna need to pull out all the stops today.
All right, so speaking of Zay Flowers, you mentioned him already. Big loss not to have him in this game, but you talked to one of my favorites actually on the team, and Rashad Bateman. First off, let's go. How obviously it hurts to have again, but who has to step up in his absence? Do you feel like it would have to be a Bateman? But who do you feel personally?
I was thinking about that, right? And I couldn't really land on someone. Like naturally, it's Rashad Bateman, right? Because he's kind of next man up after Zay Flowers. So that's the natural thought, right? But I was really thinking, like, this is a game that I truly feel like all hands have to be on deck and everybody's going to have to step up. I don't know that I feel like it is going to be one person. I think they're going to have to spread the ball around in this game and really, feed Derrick Henry the ball too. Just because when they do, we see the results.
Yeah. So speaking, but do you expect for say Bateman to have a big game in his absence, or you just to your point, you just think like wherever the hot hand is, somebody step like it could be Lamar being Superman, or it could be Derrick Henry.
I really feel like it could be. I do feel like it could be anybody. My thing with Rashad is with they being out, I feel like everybody is going to naturally focus more on Bateman. But I still expect him to be a factor in this game. And I also think someone that could be an X factor, and I'm hoping he's an X factor, is Nelson Aguilar, because he hasn't played in a couple weeks. So, I don't know how much people are going to be focusing on him in that sense, only because he hasn't played in the past couple weeks. And then they got Justice Hill back. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to have to be a game where everybody is contributing. And I mean, we could say that any given week, but for some reason I feel, especially with Zay Flowers out, that this is going to have to be a game where it's not just relying on one particular person to be that hot hand.
I got you. So,
and John Harbaugh said the offense is going to have to be a collective effort this week with Zay out, and he said, Lamar's going to sling the ball around as he sees fit. So to me, that kind of lines up with what I'm thinking.
Got you. I got you. What did George say? George said, this game, this is a game where the Ravens tight ends have to dominate. I think they will. I can see likely
Yeah.
stepping up. I can see likely stepping up in his absence. I can definitely see that. Because Andrews has been playing hell of ball since
And they have
the stretch of the season.
and they
Go
have
ahead, Carita.
They have Charlie Kohler back, so they
Yeah.
were using him kind of like as a, I say, X factor too,
Mhm.
before he was injured. So we could see that as well.
Definitely, definitely. All right, so I mentioned this team split with the Ravens. I mean, split with the Steelers already. But the last game they dominated the last game. How confident do you think they are going into this game against their rivals, knowing what they did in the last matchup?
I think they're confident, but I think they're also realistic, and they know that this is not going to be an easy matchup. It's a playoff.
Yeah.
It's everybody 0-0 at this point. You can't focus on the Steelers lost 4 games in a row because it's pretty much a new season. Like, look at the Texans right now. I don't feel like the Texans came into the playoffs hot, and they are beating the Chargers right now.
Yeah.
So, I think they're confident, but also like realistic that it's still gonna be a battle. And it's their division rival. Like,
no, that's true. That's true. I mean, both of these teams they know each other, right? Harbaugh knows Tomlin knows Harbaugh, so it is what it is. I mean, personally, I think the Ravens have a bunch of momentum going to this game compared to the Steelers, but that's just a whole different discussion. But to your point, though, like just like the playoff game that's happening now with the Texans and Chargers, you would think the other side, like the Chargers came into the game to the playoffs
with more momentum, in my opinion.
Yeah, so it's very true.
I didn't expect it. Yeah, I didn't expect the Texans to be dominating the Chargers like they are.
Yeah, so very good point. Very good point. So, Carita, what are your keys for Ravens victory over the Steelers tonight?
Well, I kind of mentioned it. It's cold weather again, but forget the cold weather. It's playoffs, and so Derrick Henry, this is what you brought him in here for. So feed him the ball. Also, we saw last game, it was a game of turnovers, and it was turnovers in the Ravens' favor. So I would say 2 things. The Ravens need to protect the football, but also they need to try to, just like they did last time, they need to win the turnover battle. So I would say that. And then, let's see. And then, I mean, the defense, like, they are going to have to show up like they've been the past couple of weeks, because this time they had George Pickens back, I believe. George Pickens didn't play last game. So they have him back. So secondary is going to be key, and that pressure on Russell Wilson, because we saw they did well with that last time. And that was the key to their victory last time. So pretty much, play the game like they played it before. But you're going to have some different factors in this particular game, but just play a clean game, play your game as well, because we don't need another playoffs where they abandon the run.
There you go. This is like basically, I agree with this. Preach, Carita, feed the king. That's my thing. Like, I feel like when we talk about
go ahead.
We talk about this. And then they won games without feeding him. But we always feel like when they do feed him, 9 times out of 10 they win that football game. And I think that we talk about Coach Harbaugh saying that, like, we want to save Derrick Henry for the end, for like this particular point, right? For this part of the season, the postseason. This is where you want to have him fresh. And Derrick Henry is fresh against the Steelers team where he got money on the last game. And he's a rested dude going this game, knowing that, you still got to worry about Lamar. To your point, but that makes it easier for Derrick Henry. I just think you feed him until they stop him.
Exactly. This is one of those games you want him to wear that defense down.
I totally agree. All right, so Corey, give me your prediction then.
I do think that, but a couple of things are at play. I think because the Steelers beat the Ravens last time. I'm sorry, the Ravens beat the Steelers last time. They're going to come into this game, wanting their vengeance. On top of that, the Ravens won the division, which was the Steelers for a very long time.
Yep. And
really, they don't have nothing to lose if you really think about it. Like, I don't know that I wouldn't say there's a ton of pressure on Lamar, but the Ravens, the way they've been playing, the the thought is that they're going to be the ones that are going to win this game, are favored to win this game. So, I think that can kind of be some dangerous couple elements. So I do think it's going to be a lot closer than it was last time. But I also feel like the Ravens still have a bad taste in their mouth for what happened last year when they got to the AFC Championship, and I think that they want to get back to that point. And I mean, just the way that they played their way through this season, especially starting off with the adversity. So I feel like ultimately they're going to pull it off. But I feel like this might be like a game, like a 3-point game or a game that's decided by a touchdown. I just think it's going to be a lot closer this time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm not the biggest Russell Wilson fan, so I think they're going to like smash him. I think they're going to smash Russ. I ain't going. He's
been a turnover. He's been a turnover machine lately.
Yeah, because now he's starting to see the pressure. We're getting Russ. We're getting Russ now. We're getting the Russ of current. This is what we're getting. Is Sierra at the game? Because I haven't seen it,
but I'm sure she is. I'm sure she is. It's a playoff game.
He can't focus when Sarah's around. He can't focus.
I think she's been at all. Hasn't she been at all the games? I don't know.
I know she can't.
But I almost feel positive she would be at a playoff game.
Yeah, I don't know. That man can't focus when she's around. I know that. He ain't the same. He ain't the same. All right, so real quick. Hey, we're going to do our Ravens prop bet. So, Carita, over or under Lamar Jackson passing for 217.5 yards.
Over.
You know, over? I like
I'm
that.
Gonna go over.
I'm with that. I'm with the over. All right, over under Lamar Jackson rushing the ball for 50.5 yards.
I'm gonna go under because I do feel like Pittsburgh has a tendency to change his game a little bit and contain him a little more when it comes to the rushing. So I'm gonna go with under on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under that as well. I think he'll still. I mean, 40 would be bad. I mean, he gets over 50 yards.
He would definitely rush, right? He'll definitely rush, but I'm gonna go under 50 yards.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. If he gets over, man, he's gonna have a hell of a game. I'm not gonna lie. It may be like you may want to give the MVP right there. I know MVP voting is over, but you may want to give it to him right there. Over under Derrick Henry rushing for 99.5.
I'm gonna say over because that's what it needs to be in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's an over for me as well. All right, over under Rashard Bateman getting 46.5 receiving yards.
I would say over because he should see more targets.
Yeah, I got over too. I think he's gonna have a big game actually. I think Rashard Bateman's gonna have.
I think that would be great for him. I think that would be great for him.
Yeah, and folks, I ain't mentioned this. Make sure you go to the Bowie TV YouTube channel and check out Carita sit down interview with Rashard Bateman. It's dope, man. Dope stuff.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I was very proud of that. Just because I put a lot of my creativity into it, so definitely make sure you go watch it.
I think it shows.
Thank you.
All right, I think George said I think Jackson, Henry running, plus Jackson throwing to the tight ends will power the Ravens to a win. Yeah, I think I didn't put him out there, but I think likely to could have a big game.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, especially because they are missing days, so now there's more room for him to get more targets too.
No, I totally agree. All right, so Carita, how can folks catch you on social media, and also how can they get your content, follow your content as well?
Yes, so you can catch me on social media at Carita C. Parks on all platforms. You can also catch my Ravens coverage on Bowie TV Sports at Bowie TV Sports on all platforms. And then make sure you check out my company, Double Take Sports, where we do WNBA, NBA, and college. And we're just delving into all kinds of sports over there. So just make sure you're following us at DBL Take Sports.
Yeah, y'all folks do wrestling too now. So.
Yeah.
So Carita, thanks you for doing this. Appreciate you. Go enjoy. Now you can focus on the playoff game. Now you can focus.
Yes.
All right. You take it easy. All right.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. All right. Let me knock this out. Again, that is Carita Parks from Bowie TV's Ravens beat reporter. So yeah, Carita's awesome. She does great work. Yeah, like Joey said, great job. Yeah, Carita does great work for Bowie TV. She's there. She's at home and away games. So yeah, she's definitely doing great work, and she's rewarded now. The teams in the postseason, and she gets to cover this team in the postseason. So big ups to Carita as well. All right, folks. Make sure I give y'all the update. Make sure you tune into our Ravens Steelers recap show Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully the Ravens win. Ravens, please win. It'll be on our YouTube, X, IG, and Facebook accounts. It also will be streaming on the Bowie TV, on Bowie TV's YouTube channel as well. You can subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also follow us on X at Urban Sports Scene, IG at Urban Sports Scene, and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Again, if you're on our YouTube channel for the first time, hit that red subscribe button and also like this video. You can check us out on our website, which is www.urbansportscene.com. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, pulling up, chilling with me. Oh, George, you got your prediction? 37-10 Ravens. That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate y'all for pulling up, tuning in with me. Hopefully Ravens win. Because I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Oh no, I would love a Baltimore DC Super Bowl. That'd be dope, wouldn't it? Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. You dig? Deuces. I'm out.
Deuce.